I'm attorney Anthony Push, and I'm with the Push and Win Law Firm. If you've been injured in a motor vehicle collision, give us a call today, 833-PUSH-WIN, or visit us online at pushwin.com. We push, you win.
Hi, I'm attorney Chi Win.
And I'm attorney Anthony Push.
We push, you win.
Our archives going back to 2012. What was the date, Roula?
This one was, hold on.
June.
No, this one was May 26th. Yeah,
no, because I went
right?
back. Remember, I went even further forward because it was. I originally went to September 7.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I go, oh, let's look at this one, June, whatever.
We found out we were doing it this exact time.
Yeah, it was May 27th or 6th.
Okay, so like over 10 years ago, and we asked the question back then, anybody fake their own death?
It was May 25th because we can't go to the 26th because it was a Saturday. So is anyone listening who has faked their own death? 713-390-KRBE. Jane is on the line. Hello, Jane. If that's your name.
Hi, Jane.
Hello, Jane.
Jane
Doe.
So you know somebody that faked their own death?
Or you did it?
Yes. No, I know somebody.
Okay. What's the scoop? Why'd they do it and how'd they do it?
So we don't know why. She had a drug problem, but so one day there's just this post on MySpace, right? And this is somebody that I knew, that I grew up with, whatever. And she on that post was like, I'm going to say her name because obviously nobody here knows her because it's from my hometown. It's from my hometown.
Don't say her last name. Just say her first name.
Sylvia.
Okay.
Sylvia.
And the post just said Sylvia has died and she donated her body to science, right?
Okay.
And so we're like, wait, what the heck? So we're all trying to figure out what's going on. And another friend of mine is like, you know what? I'm going to go to her house. And she lived like about 45 minutes away.
Okay.
And she goes over to that girl's house after all day long. Everybody's like, what in the world is going on? She's sitting outside smoking a cigarette.
Why'd she post that to social media to tell people she died? She wanted some attention?
Because all the time.
But then people showed up and be like, oh my God, you're not dead?
And then they're happy to see her, and they say nice things about her, and she feels good.
No. After that, she did a whole thing about how she needed an EEG and stuff like that, and she posted pictures about her getting an EEG, things like that. Years later, she died of an overdose, and that's really sad. But she had done that, and it was a clear cry for help. So,
man,
it's like people that think they have cancer to get attention.
That's pretty awful.
And then to make money too.
Sin. That is crazy.
Yeah.
Awful.
So fake something like that.
This is somebody whose mother was, unalived in front of her and had a lot of problems throughout her life.
Did you say unalive in front of her? Unalive?
Yeah, unalive. I don't, because
Oh, got it.
Yeah,
I got
alive.
it. I got it.
Yeah.
In front of her. Okay, I hear you.
Yeah.
Okay, so obviously she had a lot of mental stuff going on because of what she was exposed to, and the drugs obviously didn't help. So she faked her own death on MySpace to get the attention, and then years later she actually did die. Did she actually donate her body to science is the question, because that's what she posted on.
No.
Or was everybody going, I'm not falling for this again?
Yeah, no. This time she was living back in our hometown.
Yeah.
And there was an actual funeral. And by this time her children were already grown and stuff like that. This was like a few years ago.
Got it. Wow, that's really something else.
That was way back in the MySpace days, like 15 years ago.
Oh, wow.
That's funny when you hear the word MySpace. It's like, that's
now MySpace is dead.
That happened.
Yeah, Tom.
Does it still exist?
Is Tom even around anymore? What happened to that guy? He's rich, right?
He was everybody's first friend, right?
Yeah, but I remember when I first got on MySpace, I go, who the hell is this weirdo pervert?
It's still around.
Trying to get...
Yeah, I just looked it up,
Still there?
Anybody still using it?
Still there.
Yeah, what's this for? It looks like a lot of music.
Yeah, it's all music.
So what, you just download songs and look at videos and stuff there?
Articles and stuff on musicians.
Yep.
Okay. Well, check the box for anyone fake their own death.
What's a blanket statement? Because that was the other bit we did after that.
The blanket statement that was in the examples was, I don't trust you because you don't drink. I believe that was Special Case.
Yes.
But I think it was, and it's not people that have drinking problems, it's anybody that...
No, just in general, if outside of somebody having an issue with alcohol where they cannot have it, if you're just like, let's just have a toast to your engagement. Here's some champagne. I don't drink. And there's no reason behind it. Kevin's like, I don't trust you.
I think I remember my blanket statement from 10 years ago.
I don't think what they were.
I remember it was,
you would still have it. That's why we would know it.
I remember the blanket statement. It said, if you're a male and you dance and your elbows go above your nipples, You're probably gay.
You're homophobic. Right.
Yeah, exactly.
That's homophobic.
That's not homophobic. Straight men don't dance that way.
That's 100% homophobic.
Not true.
Straight men can 100% dance like that if they want to,
I've
and you
never
should not
seen
call
one.
them gay.
He's not saying that they don't, but most guys don't. Most straight guys don't dance.
No.
Much.
No, not really.
Is what he's saying. I guess.
10 years ago.
Ryan, you're part of the problem.
Oh, God.
I'll be in the next room. Make sure y'all follow me on Instagram at Space City Pretty.
Make sure when you say that, you realize what you're posting before you tell everyone to jump on board.
Yes.
So then you don't have everybody coming down on you.
Yeah.
But what's your blanket statement?
My blanket statement is
It's
I
what?
don't trust anybody that acts like they're too good to grab the peanuts at Five Guys. I have
Oh, that's
friends
interesting.
when we go to Five Guys, they're like, ew, you eat those peanuts? You don't know where those have been. They're free. Eat the peanuts. It's a part of the experience. You're already
Eat
paying
the peanuts.
$30 for a
Especially
burger.
they're in a shell. If you're like, I like to take the nuts and never mind. I can't.
Better
I
be
can't
careful,
say that.
Kevin.
You like to take the peanut
Eric.
shells,
Yeah, I
the
like to put
shells of the peanuts.
and suck on them.
Yes, the salt
Like
of the shell
like a
is
baseball
something you
game.
like to put in your
But
mouth.
that's very
I
unsanitary.
can't do that
savor.
around Ryan because then he'll say I'm gay.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. We stopped. It's very unsanitary. is what
Yeah,
I'm saying.
because
Oh,
those
that's
have
so
been in the
good.
dump truck.
Yeah.
Those have been all mixed around
They
in the
shoveled
dump
them off
truck.
the
like-
floor somewhere.
Yeah,
No,
with
they
with
don't.
Yes, they
Yeah,
do.
really? We need
Yes,
to-
they do.
We need to do an investigative reporting. Do
I
peanut
think
shells
they
get
wash
thrown
them.
on the floor in a warehouse and then get thrown into a dirty truck and then thrown to crates and then put in bags
they
and you're
wash
sucking
them,
on?
they power wash them, and then they put the salt on them.
There's got to be like an
That's the
unwrapped
same
about
thing
this.
why they say don't get lemon in your water at restaurants because they just let it roll around the floor. I've heard
That's
that before.
bull crap. I can tell you from being
You
a
have to
restaurant.
wash
That's
the-
not our
You
restaurant.
have to wash the stuff.
What you got to wash me with? Nobody's rolling.
Because we're thinking of those
lemons around
restaurants
the
where people
floor.
throw peanuts on the floor back in the day. Now they don't do that. I don't think in restaurants anymore because people slip and get hurt and they get sued.
Okay, listen.
True.
Are peanut shells clean?
Here we
Are
go.
peanut
Here's
shells
an
clean?
article about a dump truck which
Yeah.
they're shipped in. They accidentally dumped them all across the
Well,
road.
that's an accident.
And then they came over and they picked them up with a front end loader, put them back in the truck,
But that's
and
not
then
like
sent them on down the
planters.
road.
You
That's
know?
not planters. Well, how do you know where they went after that? They could have been easily plantertized.
Then the salt would have filled up.
Plantertized.
The salt would have filled up the nuts.
Let's see. They do wash off the dirt.
Yeah. They don't just pick them from the field
Straight
and
put
throw
it-
it into a bag.
there's an FDA regulation for that. You can't just take something off of a tree and not do something to it. This is Merca.
Yeah.
You got to put a pesticide or something on there.
Rate your secret.
Basically, we let people, share a secret that you've never told anybody, and we'll not judge you. We'll rate the secret on
We try really hard not to judge.
But then we get into it and ask
a scale,
questions.
yeah, 1 to 10, 10 being the worst.
And if it's a 2, then you got a secret, and you're like, really? Yeah, a 2? That's not bad. Then I don't.
Why
feel
did you
so
call
bad.
us?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
But when Molly called, we were all kind of like our jaws hit the floor.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to play Molly's original call, but then we have an update with Molly, and the twist is even crazier.
From 2 days ago.
Yeah, so here's Molly explaining her secret.
My normal job is a teacher, but my secret is that I also work as an escort.
Sleeping with the customers, or you're just escorting them out to social events?
Whatever.
Oh, so you do have relations with your clients?
At times.
Do you make sure these escort dates are like
In Sugar
Not geographically compatible with where you teach.
downtown? Or yes, that way you don't run into maybe a parent.
Yes.
Are they finding your services on a legit website or a legit company?
Yeah, how do they
or is
find
this
you?
something that you just know?
Yes.
Do you have
I
to pay
mean-
the company? Do you have to give them a percentage of?
Like a pimp.
I do not.
How much
Fine.
money do you make doing this?
Probably more than
And
your
how
teacher.
long have you been doing it?
It ranges well over 10 years, but it ranges. It could be anywhere from $200 and up for the time.
Are you in a relationship? I'm curious. Do you have a
I am in a
boyfriend?
relationship.
You are.
And does your boyfriend or girlfriend know about this?
No.
So they don't know that you're sleeping with other
Because I'll say
people.
everything is fine because she's
Right.
an adult. She can do whatever
You can
she
do whatever you
wants.
want.
But the secret is you're keeping this from your mate. How long have you been with your mate?
9 years.
Oh my God! And you've
9
been
years.
an escort for 10? How do you balance that? Where does your mate think you're going?
Out with friends.
I mean, how crushed would he be if he found out
Wow.
that you've slept with hundreds of men during the course of your relationship?
Or is it hundreds? Who
Yeah,
said
that's a
that?
really good question.
It
Probably
would be after 10
very
years. Do
upset.
you think is that fair to say that you probably
That's
slept
like,
with a lot of
No,
people?
that's-
Yeah.
did you feel
That's-
guilty
that's
like the
a-
first year? Now
yeah.
you're just like you don't have that guilt feeling anymore. You can just
Compartmentalize.
put it. Deep
I
inside.
don't feel guilty.
Well, it's a 10, Molly. In my book, it's a whopping 10 with an exclamation
There
point.
could be
like
11.
Dancing with the
I'd
Stars.
give it that.
It's a glittery 10.
10.
Because of
Does he
the
wonder
boyfriend.
where all the money comes from? Because if you're a teacher, they know it's a certain income.
She's
I
tutoring.
have my own account, my own finances. We don't live
Discuss.
together.
You don't live together. That's how you're able to maintain a separate
Yes.
life.
Do you think, though, is there an end to this? Like an end game? Or are you like, I'm just going to do this as long as I can?
Well, obviously, I'm getting older, and so, yeah.
Do any of your friends know that you do this?
Yes. The few that do know about it don't know the extent. They just feel like it is just companionship. They don't know the total extent of it.
Yeah.
Are most of the men married?
70%.
70% of the men.
Wow.
And what's the line they always say? Do they all like,
I'm unhappy in my marriage.
The most popular one is, I'm going to be with my wife until one of us dies. There's just no sex in the marriage.
Oh, okay.
I knew a guy who used to hire escorts, and he would tell me, Kevin, I'm not paying for their company. I'm paying them to leave.
Yeah.
You should get him out of there. No
So
connections.
initially when I first started, the way I was kind of compartmentalizing everything was, okay, that's my electric bill paid. Okay, that's my money for school. Okay, that's my XYZ for my child. That's kind of how it started.
Hold on, you have a child and a boyfriend. You're still balancing being an escort secretly. I don't know how you're doing this.
Well, he's an adult now, but yes.
Your child's an adult. Would you
Molly.
be crushed if you found out your boyfriend was doing this?
No.
No.
People want to get married. So have y'all had the marriage talk at all, and you keep pushing it off because of the escort lane?
No, I had a husband once. I don't want another one.
Got it.
Gotcha.
Well,
Hey, why not?
Yeah.
You tried it?
Well, Molly, that's a big
10.
one. We all give
10,
you a
10,
10.
10.
We appreciate you sharing your life with us, and good
Be
luck
careful.
with whatever
Write
that is.
that into a book. Maybe it could be a movie someday.
That'd be a great movie, don't you think?
Oh man.
That's
I-
sad what happened here 2 days ago when we were doing Rate Your Vacation, like, because we went like a little spin off of it.
right.
And then she just called and I picked up the phone. She's like, this is Molly from last week. I'm like, yeah? I'm going on vacation? No, I got an update of what happened after I was on the show with you guys.
And it was shocking what her update
Sometimes we
was.
forget. We got a lot of people listening. Sometimes we just think we're in here
Yeah.
talking
Right.
amongst ourselves.
Some friends.
And then you go out somewhere and they're like,
chit-chatting.
hey, Eric, I heard you did that, huh? Oh, crap, I forgot.
Yeah.
Mike was on.
And then Molly called in and gave us the little update.
My son's girlfriend heard me on the radio and I guess put two and two together with my saying I was a teacher. And she told my son about it. My son confronted me and asked me, and I told him the truth about it.
Oh,
Whoa,
God.
how old
is your son?
He's 26. Thought it was kind of an awkward situation.
Yeah,
How did
that's
your son
awkward.
take the news?
He was surprised and, had a lot of questions, asked me, was I doing it in the house that we lived in? And was I going to continue? And was I going to confess to my partner that I've had for 9 years?
Right.
So now does he
Right.
know?
He does not know yet.
He does not. Are you planning on telling him?
I mean, I feel like at this point I probably have to, because I feel like my son's in the position that he thinks I should tell him. And if I don't tell him, that he will tell him.
Was your son really angry? Was he disappointed? Was he sad? Like, what was his emotional reaction to the news?
I just think he was surprised. But, I said to him, well, when I was trying to take care of you as a single mom and I didn't have help, where do you think this came from?
You did it for him.
Right. I wasn't getting, much support from his dad. So
Then he's probably like, well, I understand that, Mom. I'm 26 now. You're still doing it.
correct. But he was still at my house.
Oh, he is.
So
Okay.
now, is it like an ultimatum? You feel like your son says, if you don't tell your mate, I will? What's your timeline?
I kind of feel like it's like that. And I just feel like it's really none of his business.
Are you fearful that when you tell your mate he's going to leave you?
Oh, I already know he is.
He's
Yeah.
So you're looking at the end of your relationship.
Yeah, I already know he is. That's already a given.
What if
What
he
about your
said,
boy-
quit right now? Quit today,
That's
Molly.
exactly what I was
Quit
gonna ask.
today, and I'll stay with you, and I'll just erase the past.
Could you
Just
quit? Right.
today? Could you quit?
Sure. I'm not that tied to it. And I mean, strangely enough, I have a longer relationship with two gentlemen than I've had in my relationship with my partner. So
So you have regulars.
yes,
Regulars for 10 years.
So are you just
Wow.
angry with your son?
I'm not angry. I understand, but I also feel like it's none of his business.
Does he have an emotional attachment to your mate? Is he like a surrogate father to him?
Not really. Not so much. He just saying the principle behind it. He feels like it's just not right.
Put yourself in your mate's shoes. Would you not be incredibly hurt if you found out that this entire time
I
he'd
would,
been cheating on
yeah,
you?
sure. I would be hurt. Like I would try and understand why it even came about, but I certainly would feel betrayed. So I can understand that.
Mm-hmm.
Man, Molly, what a.
So how did she
what a
figure
mess.
it was you? Did she go back to our podcast to listen a couple times before she told her son?
Yeah, and actually, she said she thought it was my voice, and the fact that I said I was a teacher, obviously I didn't use my real name, but
Mm-hmm.
she asked my son, and he said yeah, I think that's my mom.
Did your son end up hearing the segment?
Yes.
Wow.
Did you think about lying and say, no, that's not me? Why would I call?
No, I just felt like the cat was out of the bag at that point, so I might as well just come out with it.
Are you worried that, if he's capable of telling your partner, your boyfriend, are you worried that it could get back to the school you teach at?
I don't think so, because I don't think that he would do that, or, I
Why would
really
you want
don't
to
think
end her
so,
actual,
right.
Because if anything,
straight
that would-
narrow career?
That would push you back to being
Further
more
into escorting.
work.
Were you not worried that worlds would collide? Like maybe you'd run into a student's parent that hired you?
Sure. I was nearly caught before because my partners had a very good longtime friend and shared the same name with one of my longtime customers or clients, and I accidentally texted his friend instead of my friend.
Oh my God.
Oh man.
And was it graphic in nature, the text?
Not so much. It was just
Setting up an appointment?
yes, exactly. This time, this place, and so he sent me back question mark, and then he said to my partner, like, hey, Molly sent me this message. It was kind of weird talking about meeting up.
How'd you talk your way out of that one?
I told him it was like work related.
In a way, though, if you do tell him, I think that lie you've been holding on for 9 years, it's going to feel better. I know if you
but
lose
she's
them,
going to lose the love of her life.
but you know
Well,
what?
yeah, but, I mean, she knows it.
You're cheating on him,
Yeah.
and you're lying to him for 9 years. How much of the love of your life is he?
Yeah,
Right.
right. And
So maybe that's
that's
meant to be,
exactly right.
and you
So
just go-
how much did I really care about him and love him if I was keeping a secret? But
Yeah, so maybe this will be good for you in the long run. Maybe your son's right.
obviously shouldn't be in a committed relationship if I
That's what I'm
was
thinking.
going to be
You
doing
just-
that. But
And you plan on, once he finds out, you plan on continuing this line of work? Or is it a lesson
Sure.
learned?
I don't think so. I don't think quite yet for me, because I said, eventually I will. It's kind of tapering down anyway, and I only have a few people that I have long-standing relationships with, and some are, like I was saying, are longer than my relationship has lasted.
Do you care about these men?
I wouldn't say I love them, but I would say I certainly have love for them, and there's genuine concern that has to do with things that are not just
Romance
business
oriented.
side
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah.
Well, Molly, I appreciate you calling us. Yeah, give me the answer. That is where you tell us you're panicking on the listener line at 713-278-VENT. That's 8368 on your phone. And then we try and get you some help. Let's hear what was left today.
Hey guys, so I have a bit of a situation. Basically, the dating scene is so dry, and I'm really kind of like losing patience with it. I'm 27 years old. I have my master's. I've been trying to date, and there's just no luck. Like, the apps are terrible. I just feel like a number. And like any guys that you meet at social gatherings are basically looking for one night stands, and that's about it. So basically, I am considering like an arranged marriage. Like, my parents have been trying to set me up with this guy for a long time, and he's not ugly. Like, he looks fine, and he's got his own business. Like, he's good and successful, and I've just kind of been pushing it off because I'm like, I don't know, it felt weird. So I guess I'm just asking, like, have any of your listeners had success with being set up with someone, or like success with an arranged marriage? Like, I would love to hear anything anyone has to offer.
Does that work like in the American culture? Like, because I know Roula. Like,
yeah, in the
we all
American
friends,
culture, who gets arranged?
Like your parents?
My parents got arranged. They're
Greece.
Greek. I know in the Indian culture, it's still very prominent.
Netflix
They
has
will
that
set y'all
show,
up.
Indian Matchmaker, I believe it was called. I think she's from Houston.
Oh, yeah. Oh, she's from Houston?
Or not that, but the first episode I thought was from Houston last
in
year
Houston,
when I saw
yeah.
it.
I remember that show. It was pretty big for a minute.
But
And the arranged marriage is a wide spectrum of the way they arrange it. You've heard like the negative, image of the arranged marriage is you're going to marry him and that's final.
like in movies, you see that.
in movies.
And they're in love with someone else.
Because, it's movies because it came from somewhere real. Or it's like, well, when you were 5, we promised each other's families y'all are going to get married. And then in my parents' case, it was my dad saw my mom, thought she was very foxy, and told his parents, hey, I like her. What's her story? His mom went to her parents and said, my son's interested in your daughter. Let's get him together. Her parents said to her, hey, this guy thinks you're foxy and he's got a good life going for himself.
Go
So
to America.
and here we go. And then they got married. My mom met him the first day, and it was pretty much a go. Like the first time they met, it was.
But she had a choice. She could say no.
Yeah, her dad told her you don't have to marry him, but it would be a good match for you and it would be a good life for you. My dad asked her privately, do you have a secret boyfriend we don't know about? Because you can tell me it's fine, I'll back off. Because a lot of times what people didn't know is like, if you ever saw that movie Ever After with Drew Barrymore, where the prince is supposed to marry the queen of Spain and she's crying the whole time because she's in love with this guy that's in the audience, and she's like, and he's like, I can't do this. I can't marry this girl. She is crying because she's not in love with me. So my mom was like, my mom thought that was really nice that my dad actually took her to the side privately and asked her that, because, that did happen a lot of times. There were girls, even my age, when I would go back to Greece to visit my family, Eric, when I was like 17 years old, one of my cousins had a super secret boyfriend her family didn't know about.
Yeah, because they didn't want to tell them, and then they were trying to get you
and they'd be
married.
like, if they were trying to like set her up with somebody else, she would have like lost her marbles because she wanted that boy.
I think is what's your hurry? You're 27. I always think 27 is like when you should start thinking about
getting married.
Getting married.
Well, some people
24,
really put a lot of
25, just
pressure
have
on
fun.
it.
Yes.
Put pressure on it. Just wait till you're 30.
I think that a lot of people put the pressure on.
It sounds like she just wants to get married and have security and stuff.
If everything else is going on right in her life, people are probably constantly asking her, like, when are you going to get married? When are you going to have babies?
never stops,
Let me tell you
right?
something, honey. It never stops. Right. It does not stop. Because once you do get the boyfriend, then they ask you when you get married. Then when you are married, how soon are you going to have babies? And then, married, then babies. And then while you're pregnant, they ask you about the next one and the next one and how many do you want. And it just never
And then you get divorced
stops.
and then starts over again.
Oh,
Sarah's
man.
on the phone at 713-390 KRBE. Hi, Sarah. Good morning.
Good morning, guys.
Hi, Sarah.
Good morning. Just real quick, Sarah, let me reset for some people who just may have, jumped on board the Roula and Ryan show here. One of our listeners left us a panic button saying that she is so frustrated with the dating scene. She thinks she might actually consider this arranged marriage. Her parents, there's a guy that they say he's a good guy. He's not as bad
It doesn't
looking.
sound like a deep arrangement. Like sounds like just hey,
It's like, hey,
this guy
maybe I'll
seems
do
like he'd be
this.
good.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like
It does,
sounds like
arranged means like they made an arrangement
like just
with
set
the
up a date.
families. This is just like, hey, I think you should date this guy. Okay.
That's what I think.
What do you say, Sarah? What's your comment?
I agree with that most recent comment. Like right there, she's meeting the guy. She's meeting him through her parents. I kind of did that as well. Been married now 11 years. It works. It works. And she always is able to say, it doesn't work. This is not for me. Because like she said, it's dry out there. And if she keeps meeting the wrong guys, it's just not going to work. She has nothing to lose. And if her parents are presenting her with a great guy, why not? Why not? What is she going to lose? Nothing.
Wait, you said you did that, meaning like what? You took the advice of your family, like, come on, you should date this boy. He's a good kid.
my mom introduced me to a few guys, and I was like, this one didn't work, that one didn't work. Then I got engaged to some guy, and then it didn't work out, and I was like, I'm done with this. She's like, okay. So she left it on the back burner. She let me go explore whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Then later, when I was like, oh my God, I'm like, my hands were up. I'm like, I hate this. I was 27,
Mm-hmm.
and I was actually enjoying my life at the time. I was doing whatever I wanted. But then she's like, hey, there's this guy, and he wants to reach out to you. What do you think? And then I was like, you know what? All right. And I remember I was studying at the library in my master's, kind of like what she was. She was in her master's school.
Yeah.
And, so we met up at a Starbucks, and turns out I had met him 10 years ago because I was the wing girl for a girl he was dating. I don't even remember. Maybe.
Really?
That's funny.
Yeah.
Did he remember? Is that how he remembered you? He told you
He
that?
remembered me. Yeah, he remembered me. And then I called my friend, and I was like, hey, like, was I your wing girl? Did we meet this guy? And she's like, oh, my God, yes, Sarah, we met him. And you guys hit it off. But I have zero memory of that. And to this day, my husband's like, you don't even remember meeting me. How could you feel like this?
The first time we ever saw each other, and you don't remember it.
Yeah, I don't remember. And then when I told him about, like, let's meet up, like, I thought it was the first time, I initiated the same place that I initiated that my friend meet him. He's like, is this where you take all your guys? I'm like, oh, my God.
Oh, man.
Was he around the same age as you then? You guys were probably around the same age.
No, actually, he's 10 years older than me.
Okay. How long did y'all date after meeting before y'all got married? Or engaged?
Like 3 months. Not
3
long.
months and engaged.
When you know, you know. When
Yeah.
you know, you know. When it fits, you have the same goals, you want the same things, it just works out.
Okay, now hold on a second, though, because that brings up something interesting. Eric, you said this a long time ago. I don't know if you remember or not. You said that when you're dating somebody at 33, you have a lower threshold for pickiness than at 23. Do you remember you were saying that? Like, you were thinking, well, I'm 33 now. I should probably get married.
Especially if you think about kids and stuff.
I won't focus so much on the small little stuff.
You can overlook a few things.
Do you feel like because you were in that state, Sarah, that you had told your mom, I'm done with this crap, that your threshold was lowered for the stuff?
Even my husband says it. Even my husband says it. He's like, Sarah, had I told you, hey, I want you to be me. I want you to be for me. I want you. I don't like your friend. First, he was like, I'm breaking your sister bond, your friend bond with your girlfriend. And you're going to be like, oh, this creep. He didn't want her. Yeah. Then I was not looking to I was 23. I was like, this is not what I want. I'm looking to have fun. I'm starting car and
23, you would have said no to him. 33, you said yes to him.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's just a different time.
Mix a little sports analysis, pop culture, and great interviews, and you've got the Rich Eisen Show podcast.
Whenever I drive separately with Susie, you always have to go first. So sure enough, I pull into the garage. She's not even here yet, which allows me now the opportunity to stand there, just holding the door open, like the gentleman that I am. And I snapped a photograph of Susie's reaction, and there it is. How did you get here?
The Rich Eisen Show podcast, wherever you listen.